Imagine looking up at the sky in 1944 and seeing hundreds of tiny objects drifting down, not falling like bombs, floating, spinning, almost beautiful, like a swarm of metal butterflies. German soldiers watched them descend over their cities, airfields, and supply routes. At first, they didn't panic, because nothing about them looked dangerous. But then one landed. A soldier walked over. He reached out, and the butterfly exploded. The British had created a weapon that looked harmless, but was designed to turn the ground itself into a trap. This was the butterfly bomb, one of the strangest, most terrifying, and most controversial weapons of World War II. Welcome back to Allied Sabotage Vault. On this channel, we uncover the hidden weapons that changed warfare from the shadows: exploding rats, pencil detonators, silent pistols, sticky bombs, coal torpedoes, and bizarre inventions that sound like they came from a movie. But the butterfly bomb was different, because it didn't just destroy targets, it hunted people. So how did a tiny weapon create so much fear? Why did German troops become terrified of touching ordinary objects? And why did the Allies eventually decide this weapon was too dangerous to keep using? The answer is darker than you might expect. The butterfly bomb was officially known as the Type II or HB bomb. It was developed by British scientists during World War II. The idea was simple. Instead of dropping one large bomb on a target, drop thousands of tiny ones. Create chaos. Slow the enemy down. Make entire areas impossible to use. Each bomb was surprisingly small, roughly the size of a large container, but inside was enough explosive power to kill. When released from an aircraft, the bomb's spring-loaded wings opened. The wings slowed its fall. Instead of crashing straight down, it fluttered through the air, quietly, randomly, almost like a real butterfly. And that was the genius. The slower it fell, the wider the area it covered. A single aircraft could scatter thousands of these weapons across roads, buildings, fields, and military bases. They landed everywhere: on rooftops, inside vehicles, near fuel supplies, hidden in grass, waiting. But the most terrifying part wasn't the explosion. It was the uncertainty. Some bombs detonated when they hit the ground. Others were triggered later. A person might see one sitting there and think, "It's already harmless." They were wrong. The bomb could be waiting for the smallest movement: a mechanic picking it up, a farmer moving it out of a field, a child finding something strange in the dirt. The enemy couldn't simply clear them away, because every attempt to remove the threat could become the final mistake. Entire areas became dangerous. German forces had to mark contaminated zones. Roads became risky. Airfields could become unusable, and every unknown object created fear. The British had turned the battlefield into a psychological weapon. The bomb was small, but the fear was enormous. But here's where the story gets even stranger. The Germans were not only forced to deal with the butterfly bomb, they tried to copy it. They studied captured examples. They attempted to create their own versions, because they understood something important. A weapon doesn't have to destroy everything to be effective. Sometimes, making the enemy afraid is enough. But the butterfly bomb created a problem even for the people who built it, because it blurred the line between military target and civilian danger. Unlike a normal bombing raid, the danger could remain long after the aircraft disappeared. Days, weeks, sometimes longer. And after the war, questions remained. Was it a brilliant weapon, a necessary tool, or something too dangerous to unleash? The butterfly bomb never became the famous wonder weapon of World War II. It didn't have giant rockets. It didn't have massive explosions. It was something far more unsettling. Small, silent, patient. A weapon that waited. And perhaps that's why it remains one of the most disturbing inventions of the war. Because the most frightening weapons aren't always the biggest. Sometimes, the smallest ones are the ones you never see coming.